Hey y'all, it's 12:14 a.m. here in North Carolina, and I am up still working on getting these samples out for TikTok. I've been at this now since about 5 o'clock. I was so backed up, y'all. Oh, did I mention hey and welcome to Lovely J Podcast? Before I get going on into my little routine and my little talk. Well, anyways, I've been working on these samples. Y'all know I've been backed up all month. Because my ex passed away and it took some time with that. And I feel like I'm doing pretty good with it now. Probably going to talk about them every time it come up, though. I mean, that's just how it is. Y'all hear the noise in here because I'm trying to clean up my mess now before I go to bed. I probably will always talk about that man up until somebody better comes along. I don't know why, but I've just had so much conversation about him over these last 10 years. It's going to be different for me not having anything else to add to the things I have already said. Now that he's gone, there's not really much to say. I mean, I don't remember a lot of things, and the things I did remember, I've already said it. But I got backed up on my work because I couldn't concentrate, and I was just, when you get news like that, it's not like you instantly can bounce back. Some people can. I'm not one of those who instantly bounce back. I'm one of those, I have to work through a process. I had to go through a whole process to get myself back regulated. Because stuff like that hurt me. Hold up. I don't know why that starts. Stuff like that, it hurts me. I would be that way for anybody, but with him, I was with him the longest in my lifetime. I mean, think about it. I wasn't even with my parents that long. And I was with him. And if things could have worked out, it would have. I've stopped beating myself up over it. And like I said, one sentence can change everything. And it did for me yesterday. That one sentence did. If he wanted to, he could have. He had all the opportunities in the world to make things right, and it wasn't in my hands. That's one thing I have to remember, that was not in my hands. It was out of my control. It was out of my hands. I just did what was right for me, which was get up out of the relationship because he wasn't changing. And there was still a woman out there wearing his name. She's still wearing it to this day. So, I'm not going to say I may have lost a friend. I'm not going to say I lost a husband or anything like that. I lost a friend. That's what it came down. It came down to just being friends. That's who I lost, a friend. But I'm trying to recover now and get back to life. I've had some time to think things over and go through a little things, and I promise you, it's this book on TikTok called Apply God's Word to Your Life Today, the NLT Bible Promise book for women. I've got to do more videos on this book because I just read this book like 2 or 3 times since I've been going through this thing. Because this is transformation for me. This is a life-changing event, transforming for me, because I go from the only man that's been in my life for the last 27 years to, girl, now you really do got to live without him. He's not a phone call away. So this is a life-changing event for me, and I can't do it without God. I mean, as much as we put each other through in the good times and the bad times, I still can't do it without God. Whenever I left, I couldn't do that without God. It was so hard to leave. Because one thing we do is we get attached to people, and 27 years is a long time. But when you spend 17 of them together, that's a long time too. That's almost 20 years. So, the one thing that has been keeping me grounded is this book of promises that God has given. And I read this. I just opened up and turned to whatever I need to turn to. And let me tell you what popped up. What popped up was discipline. Because it tell you, different topics. And then, it's got a table of contents. And it's got like 51 different topics. And these are little short reads. These ain't long. So if you ain't got much attention span, you can handle this. So I happened to turn to this one tonight, which was called Discipline. Y'all listen at this now. Listen at what I'm about to say, because if this did not put me in my place, and I just had to give God the praise and thank him for the discipline that he has given in my life. Okay, so let me read. When godly living doesn't seem worth the reward, think about it. Just as a parent disciplines a child, the Lord your God disciplines you for your own good. Deuteronomy 8:5 says, joyful are those you discipline, Lord, those you teach with your instructions. Psalms 94:12. All athletes are disciplined in their training. They do it to win a prize that will fade away. But we do it for an eternal prize. 1 Corinthians 9:25. When following God's commands seems too hard, our earthly fathers disciplined us for a few years, doing the best they knew how. But God's discipline is always good for us so that we might share in his holiness. No discipline is enjoyable while it is happening. Oh, do y'all hear that? I'm going to come back to it. It's painful. That's what the words say. It's painful. But afterward, there will be a peaceful harvest of right living for those who are trained in this way. Hebrews 12:10-11. And those are the scriptures that they give that I can go back and read on. But did you hear that part about no discipline is enjoyable while it is happening? This is not enjoyable while this is happening. Never did I ever want to see anything happen to that man. Never. I didn't never wish bad on him. Even when we was fussing, I never wished bad on him. None of that. I didn't never want to see nothing like this become of his life. And that hurts. And that discipline that God gave me to leave whenever I did leave, that hurt. It took 10 years. These last 10 years, I've been rebuilding me with God, because I couldn't handle some of the things that, man, it wasn't just him. It was me too. That's what I'm saying, that I can't blame it all on him. I know who he was, but it was me too. I have to take responsibility for my part. I probably did about, I would say we did 50-50 damage to each other. That's what I would say. Because if I wouldn't have been chasing him behind him and trying to make myself look like I'm such a good, healthy, strong woman, a lot of this stuff could have been avoided. Maybe he wouldn't even have some of the pains he got, right, that he had before he passed. I don't know. But I just know God will chase down those who he loved, and he will discipline us. And, when I saw this, and it said, but God's discipline is always good for us so that we might share in his holiness. No discipline is enjoyable while it is happening. It's painful. It is painful. I'm at a painful moment in my life right now. And yet at the same time, it's the most joyous and the most freest moment that I've had in my life. I don't even remember being this free as a child. Emotionally free. Yes, this thing hurts, but emotionally, or whatever it was pulled up out of my heart, it's a different feeling. It hurts in the natural, the things that we put each other through, the things we did to one another, the lies we told on each other. I told lies too. He tell lies, I tell lies too. The things we done to one another, that hurt. The things we did to other people, that hurt. Life in general is about growing pains. And this is a growing time for me to realize that God is using this very situation to grow me some more, and I've got to grow through the pain. Even though it hurts, I got to grow through the pain, because there's nothing I can do. I can't go back to the past. I can't look at him and tell him anything. We told each other what we had to say, and I could say we went out on good terms, because we forgave each other just in time. We forgave each other. It was like almost 5 years ago, and we still just talked as friends. He would try to get back, but, once you get free, it's hard. Once you get free from a relationship that has been nothing but domestic violence, and we put it on each other, it won't just him. Like I said, we put it on each other. But once you get free from a relationship like that, I don't care how much you love that person, you be wanting to go back. In your mind, you be wanting to go back, but your body not going to let you. Your body not going to let you, because every time you see that person, you going to feel, it's not a some type of way feeling, but your body is going to let you know that they just sucked the life out of you just by looking at you. And you don't want to go back through that. So everything that happened was for a growing pain. It was for a reason. It had to happen. He needed to be free of his pain, and I needed to be emotionally free, because I wasn't emotionally free. I was living around here like we were still a couple, and we wasn't. I was still sneaking to do stuff, and why? Because I was a free woman, but I was still sneaking. That's crazy, isn't it? I know. But I'm learning, and I'm thankful, and I'm going to try to do more for myself and get out there more in public. I saw something today. It was a small clip of a video, and I didn't even watch it all, but it was enough to catch my attention. It was this woman. She was an older lady, and she was inside this house, and the person narrating the story said, even though your house is comfortable and you love being in your house, it's more healthy to get out more. Get out more instead of just sitting there getting comfortable, because there's things that be in your home sometimes that basically it's not a good thing to sit in your house all day, all the time. You need to be outside of your home, interacting with other people, seeing different things, traveling. And these last I'm going to say the last 5 years, I've been doing a lot of traveling and things, though. Yeah, wait a minute. Hold up now. Let me give myself some credit here. Let me give me some grace. I have been doing a lot of traveling and things, because with my grandchildren, I go places they go. I do things they do. And then I get out on my own and do a little things, too. So these last, I would say this last, what? Is it last year? No. Never mind. Never mind. Well, it did feel like I was just sitting doing nothing, but now that I think about it now, I ain't been just sitting doing nothing. I had a good run these last 10 years. I've been all over this state of North Carolina, going to different programs, doing my radio show, doing interviews with celebrity artists, indie artists. I mean, I really built up myself from scratch, from something that happened to me that was so traumatic at the time, and I'm pretty sure I traumatized him too with my little foolishness. But getting out here traveling and doing this thing, I just recently started staying at home within the last year, because I had to go through therapy, and at that time I wasn't walking good. So that's why I was home, and that may be why I feel like it was longer than what it was. But on the real, I was really getting out. I was starting to do things I hadn't done before, and getting back to doing things that I used to do and love. And that's where I'm at now. I'm getting back to doing some of the things that I love to do. And just really enjoying life now. I'll probably do a little something for him. I don't know what I want to do for him. Probably, no, I'm not doing nothing for him. I have to focus on the living. I can't. There, you know how it is. It's just one part of you that be like, oh, I feel so sorry, and I want to do this. I want to do that. And then there's this other part where we know that God said that all things work together for the good of those who love the Lord. Now, I better leave well enough alone for real, before something really does mentally grab hold of me that will be hard to break loose from. So I'm going to leave that alone. Now, I do want to continue upgrading my prayer garden. And in my prayer garden, I wanted to get some cement and kind of let the girls write names in on it, and maybe his name could be part of that as a memorial, but I wouldn't know how my future husband would feel about that. You know what I'm saying? So I have to think about that too ahead of time before I start doing things like that, because if I do get into another relationship, which I hope I do get into a good one, he wouldn't be my topic all the time. I would not be talking about him like that. I wouldn't, like all of this right here, all of this podcast right here that I'm talking about now, this would not be going on once I get with someone who I really feel is for me. Now, and what I mean is, y'all know this podcast has been focused on my personal life. If a guy finds me that I'm really into this podcast, it will be changed. It'll be Lovely J Podcast, but everything we talk about will be different. It'll be different. If I still be doing podcasting. Because see, remember, God gave this to me in the midst of when we broke up. Right? Soon as we broke up, God put this into my path, this podcast. I was already doing radio. But this podcast right here came when we broke up, because the emotions, it was just too much. So I didn't really have friends like that. I lost my friends. I told y'all that when you're in a relationship, it's good to still have your own set of friends. All of the friends that I had was from his side. That was the friends I had, which meant when we broke up, the friends went too. And they went to his side. It was like a custody battle. He got all the friends, and I got back here, and I had to create and make new ones. So that was that. And I just really, I think it's time now. Each day I'm feeling stronger and stronger, and I'm just letting stuff off. And I just feel that's good. I still think he's a good-looking man. I mean, I probably always think that Wilson Watkins Jr. was a good-looking man. To me, he was. I'm not saying to y'all, but I'm saying to me, he was my type. That's my type of, that was my type. He had all the qualities I wanted. That's what I wanted. And that's what I had got. And I had it for 17 years, and I thank and bless the Lord for those 17 years that we were together, and I bless the Lord for these 10 years that we were apart, that I learned my lesson and started using my spiritual senses versus my vajayjay. Okay? Not only vajayjay, but y'all know what I'm saying. Instead of using, my natural senses to live in this mean old world, I started becoming spiritual. So it's okay if the pain is there. Because sometimes that's what God got to allow. God got to allow us to have pain. But I remember, I believe it was my brother James in the Bible that talks about count it all joy. So he may not be here, and you just have to count it all joy. And I have to count it all joy because I saw that man suffer, and I'm glad he's not suffering like that no more. Even when I was mad, I'd be mad as a dog with him, and I still couldn't dog him out the way he did me. I couldn't do that because that's not who Miss Bowden is. That's not who Coco is. I have a heart for people, and I didn't realize how big my heart was for people until I became single and started analyzing my own self. And I realized that my heart was so big, I let people walk over me. I let people talk me down from my post where I was supposed to be standing at, where I was supposed to be guarded. I didn't have no guards up. And so that's how the enemy took advantage of me and my spiritual gifts and talents. And I didn't never get to use any of them like I wanted to because of that. But I did get to talk to a lot of people who I was able to help through situations they may have been going through in their relationships or emotionally. Even though I wasn't there to help myself, God still used me in that area to help somebody else who just needed an ear. And that's the way I look at it. That emotional growth is painful. And that as God continues to discipline me and you and anybody else that he loves, he going to chase after us. He going to do that. Just know that these pains, this too shall pass. It shall pass. I'm not saying we forget about people, but we do have to remember that we have one life to live here on earth, and we got to live it. You got to live it to the fullest. If you're going to cry, cry the best cry you can cry. If you're going to laugh, give the best laugh you can laugh. Live every day like it's your last day. Just like me sitting in here doing these videos and things by myself, I'm not sitting up in here like I'm sad to be doing this video. I'm up in here so happy, so content, so thankful. There ain't no fussing in this house. There ain't no yelling, no screaming in this house. There ain't no beer bottles laying all over the house. I'm not running back and forth for drugs. You know, I have so much to be thankful for. So much. Yes, this house need a little fixing up and it need a little this and a little that, but still, this is a place of peace. It's a place of peace. So I sit here and I do my little work and I'm just as happy as could be. Every once in a while, though, I cut a tear. But you know what? I let it be the best tear. If I'm going to cry, I'm going to cry. I'm going to cry for some things that, I know you were good at. I'm going to cry these tears of joy because I know you're not suffering now. I know you got a new body now. So I'm going to make it the best, whatever I do. Speaking of that, desires. Oh my goodness. Look what is right in front of I really gotta do this book. I'm gonna do this book. I'm gonna put this book on TikTok before. It's gonna be a video before I go to sleep. All my other videos, let me tell you what I did with them. I could not get them out today. Everything. I did about 12 videos today. But I couldn't get everything out today. And surprisingly, everything went smooth while I was doing those videos too. But I just got tired here at the end because I ate that little gem. And that gem is supposed to make you sleepy. And now I'm feeling the sleep kicking in. But I will put this book up there. It's just a little mini book, y'all. It's not big at all. You can fit this in your pocketbook. It says Desires. Now listen here. When you really want to love, serve, and honor God more, if you look for me wholeheartedly, you will find me. Jeremiah 29:13. That's what the scripture says. That's what the Lord says. If you look for me wholeheartedly, you will find me. I've been searching. I even told him, look, Lord, clean out my heart. Search inside my heart. Take anything out that's not supposed to be, because I want to be close to you. I want to live the life that you have for me to live. I know I've been a handful, but I want the life that you have for me. And if you let me go through this pain, it's for a reason. It's for a reason. Maybe my love was off. And it was, because I talk about it all the time. My love was off. I loved the man, but I didn't know how to love. I kept count of everything he done wrong. He kept count of everything I done wrong. And the good book says we're not supposed to do that. If you love me unconditional. Everything we did, it had a condition. Oh, if you do this for me, I'll give you that. If you do that, I'll give you this. Conditioned. And I thank God that now I know how to love unconditionally. Now, that was a painful story, too, how I learned how to love unconditionally. That was real painful. Well, this is real painful. I mean, it was just painful. And it goes on to say, I will give you a new heart, and I will put a new spirit in you. I will take out your stony, stubborn heart and give you a tender, responsive heart. Ezekiel 36:26. I needed that because Oh, Ezekiel, thank you. Because I was starting to feel like I was becoming hard hearted and cold. And I don't want to become hard and cold like that toward anybody. Because I, out of all people, know how that feels. I know how that feels when people are hard hearted toward you, when they look at you funny. It's more than a look. First of all, it's more than a look when people have stony hearts and they don't have a tender heart for nobody and they've been desensitized. Like they don't care who you are. They don't even feel sorry for kids now. That's how cruel this world is. I said, and I looked at teachers these last 3 years. I looked at teachers. I looked at principals. I looked at pastors. I looked at musicians. I looked at people in leadership, police officers, first responders, EMS workers, doctors. I looked at all these people in leadership roles and I saw how cold they could be even toward the elderly and children. I won't worry about me, but when I look around and see how they're treating the elderly and the children, that's heartbreaking. And it's because they're not searching for God with their whole heart. They're looking for God to fix this and fix that, but they don't want the wholehearted God. They don't want that. They don't want to give their whole heart to God. They rather satisfy their flesh. They rather sit around and boast on who they aren't. You know they're going to lie on themselves. They're going to try to make themselves look better than what they are. They sit around plotting on people, doing repetitive vain prayers, copying people's prayers. God ain't listening to that foolishness. You're not moving no mountains with that fake faith. Come on now. You're not moving nothing with that. You don't even have a desire to live your own life. You got to be scripted. Come on, I'm talking. Talking good too. You got to be scripted. I know what it feels like to live by the script. Now, I didn't live by the government script y'all go by or by, watching people on the dark web and invading somebody's privacy. But the script I was living by was the street scripts. And that was not fun. Do what they do. Say what they say. Take on their language. And then when I got in the church, they had a church language. I had to learn the church language. Oh my goodness. But once you get to know the real God, the real true living God, you're not going to want that church language. You're going to realize them tongues is fake. You're going to realize that anybody can mimic a tongue. You're going to realize that, I'm telling you. You're going to realize that people will copy each other's praying styles. They didn't get that from God. They got that from you. They copy each other's shout. They ain't dancing out their clothes like David. They want you to see that stuff moving in the front and in the back. It's a whole lot to it, but I needed that. Give me a new heart, God, and a new spirit. That's what I need, Lord, because I don't want to be hard like some of the people I see. Even if people do me wrong, I want to respond godly. And I haven't always felt like that in these last couple of years. I felt really mean because y'all know one time I was starting to cuss a little bit on here. And then God comes back and humbles me down. That's not my language. Oh. Y'all just don't know. So yeah, I'm going to share this book. This book is nice. It's nice. I'm going to give y'all about 2 more minutes of my time and then I'm going to go. Oh, this one here. I know somebody might need this. When you feel completely lonely, I can never escape from your spirit. I can never get away from your presence. Even in darkness, I cannot hide from you. To you, the night shines as bright as day. Darkness and light are the same to you. Psalms 139, 7 and verse 12. That's what you want to go study on for that. And deliverance. If you need deliverance, check this one out. When you wonder if God will rescue you, don't be afraid. Just stand still and watch the Lord rescue you. The Lord himself will fight for you. Exodus 14:13 through 14. The angel of the Lord is a guard. He surrounds and defends all who fear him. Psalms 34 and 7. All right, that's good. That's good. And then if y'all are going through anything and you want to hear something on coping, let me read this to you. When life is hard and you're not sure how to handle all that's coming at you, the Lord helps the fallen and lifts those bent beneath their loads. Psalms 145:14 says, when you go through deep waters, I will be with you. When you go through rivers of difficulty, you will not drown. You hear that? You will not drown. When you walk through the fire of oppression, you will not be burned up. The flames will not consume you. Isaiah 43:2. All praise to God, the Father, our Lord Jesus Christ. God is our merciful Father and the source of all comfort. 2 Corinthians 1:3. Tell y'all, this little book got it going on. Yeah, I need to share this out. All right, thanks for listening, y'all. Love y'all. Till next time, y'all be great. Peace, love, and happiness.